In my research work on Ramayana, I have extracted the real history of Ravana, Indra, and Kumbhakarna so far. The original title name of Ravana's son, Aindrasiddha, deformed as Indrajit, and he became the god Indra after his nirvana. Destroying this history, the Jewish Brahmins faked Indrajit and Indra as two different personalities and even audaciously claimed that god Indra helped Rama in the Ramayana war to completely destroy the history. Hence, it is quite evident that Sanskrit Ramayana doesn't portray the real history of Ravana and Rama. Next, a great personality and one of the 12 original Alvars of Vishnu, known as Kumbhakarna, was amusingly portrayed as sleeping giant to destroy the real history about him. Thus, it is amply evident that the original Ravaniyam was looted from Tamils and rewritten with doctrine as Ramayana to destroy the ancient history of this land. The Jewish Brahmins always contributed negatively only to this great country called India. Now, by probing who was the real Rama and the real Sita, we shall square in on the original history related to Ramayana. Who is Rama according to Sanskrit Ramayana? He is said to be the son of Dasaratha, the king of Kosala kingdom, and Ayodhya being its capital. I would make a special video on Dasaratha and Narada later. To know the real identity of Rama, we should study the alleged place of his origin, the Ayodhya. According to the historians, only after the 5th century AD, that is, after the Gupta times, that we hear of Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. It should be mentioned that the Guptas nurtured Brahmanism and most Sanskrit literature originated in these times only. Obviously, Sanskrit Ramayana and Mahabharata should have been fabricated in these times. Hence, before Gupta times, Ayodhya was unknown in Uttar Pradesh and that place was known as Saketa. What we infer from this is that Ayodhya, which existed elsewhere, was relocated at Saketa for the convenience of the Brahmins. The supporting fact for this inference is that man did not live in the region of Ayodhya 5000 years ago. On the other hand, in the northwest India, that is, the Indus Valley region, there are plenty of evidences, including archaeological data, proving the existence of modern men there well before the times of Ramayana. No such archaeological evidence exists for Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Bengal region for the presence of modern men during Ramayana. What could be the reason? As the ancient man lived mostly on the mountains, and as Western Ghats mountain range is situated very close to the Arabian Sea, and as the ancient transport was through the seas, the spread of humans happened only through the west coast of India. As the Eastern Ghats range is situated inland, more than 50 kilometers away from the coast, there wasn't any human presence near the eastern coast, and hence the human spread did not happen through the east coast in the times of Ramayana. Hence, unless archaeological evidence is shown that modern man lived in the Ayodhya region in the times of Ramayana, we shall not buy the idea that Ayodhya ever existed in Uttar Pradesh. However, such evidence doesn't exist. The first people to land in the Bengal region for undertaking rice cultivation was the Mallas, known also as Sakas from ancient Lanka, and they settled there around the times of Mahabharata. They were actually the Pandyas, and the Buddha was a descendant of such people. I have already described this in Ravana and Indra videos. Thus, Ayodhya never existed in Uttar Pradesh during the times of Ramayana. The meaning of the word Ayodhya shall confirm this truth. Every ancient name was created with meaning. The Brahmins provide the etymological root of this name as A plus Yuddham. According to this, the meaning of the name Ayodhya should be the land of peace, as A plus Yuddha means no war. However, they are forcibly extracting the meaning as invincible land, which is utter nonsense. In reality, Ayodhya did not originate from A plus Yuddha. Ayam plus Otri, Ayam plus Otti, Ayoti is the correct etymological origin of the word, where Ayam means sea and Otri means by the side of. The place near the sea was named as Ayoti in Tamil. as mankind did not live on the eastern shores in the times of Ramayana, this Ayodhya should have existed somewhere between Kanyakumari and Mangalore. In fact, there could have been many Ayodhya in this region. If we type in Google search Ayodhya in Kerala, we are getting this surprising data. There are many institutions and places named after Ayodhya, and they are all situated near the sea, confirming my etymology. If we type Ayodhya in Tamil Nadu, or Ayodhya in Andhra, or Ayodhya in Karnataka, or Ayodhya in Odisha, or Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh, we don't get this kind of numerous references. Hence, the original Ayodhya should have existed anywhere from Kanyakumari region to Mangalore region, and it did not exist in Uttar Pradesh as this region is far away from the seas. This fact is confirmed by the news that a princess from southern country over an ocean and from a place known as Ayutta went to Korea during the 1st century AD and married the king of that region and gave birth to 10 children, and her descendants have grown to 6 million today, and they are known as Kara people. Ayutta actually means Ayoti. The fact that Ayoti means by the side of the sea, and from the fact that the princess came from a southern country over an ocean, it obviously means that place should be in the vicinity of Kanyakumari only. From the remains of that queen, Hyohuang Oak, which means Sembavalam in Tamil, mitochondria was extracted and DNA analysis was done. The results show that it matches with the South Indians, and this test was done by the Koreans themselves. That queen was related to the twin fish, that is, she was related to the Pandyas. The emblem of the Confederate of Kaya has 8-spoked wheel and the twin fish. These are the symbols of Pandya. Tamil has huge impact in Korean language and culture. Tamil words like Appa, Amma, Anni, Talatu are quite prevalent in Korean language, which invariably proves that the princess known as Hyohuang Oak should have been from South Tamil Nadu. But the Ayodhya in UP was wrongly identified as her ancestor land, and hence a memorial had been built for her there. In the 1st century AD, when the princess actually left for Korea, there was no Ayodhya in UP, and its earlier name was Saketa. During the 1st century AD, only when Sanskrit Ramayana was written, the city known as Saketa was renamed as Ayodhya fraudulently. Hence, Princess Sembavalam did not go from Uttar Pradesh region. But the twin fish UP government emblem and the twin fishes seen in Ayodhya buildings shall confuse the common man. Gautam Buddha was a descendant of the Pandyas, as already established in my Ravanan and Indran videos. It would be absolutely confirmed through my next video using the very anecdotes of Sanskrit Ramayana itself. The Ravanan family was the first Pandyas, and Gautam Buddha of Saka clan was a descendant of Indra, the Saka. That is why the Kumbha of Kumbhakarna, the 8-spoked wheel of Indra, and the Pandya's twin fish representing Ravana and Indra are included among the 8 auspicious symbols of Buddhism. Before proceeding further, I would describe the real origin of the other 5 auspicious symbols of Buddhism. The protective umbrella represents the Kavadi of Murugan. The endless knot represents the star of Murugan, and the lotus represents Asivagam, from which Buddhism originated. The conch represents Vishnu, the later god of Asivagam, and the victory banner, said to represent Meru mountain, actually represents Shiva, who was the first human to attain nirvana and the first god of Asivagam. Buddhism originated out of Asivagam, and Asivagam was initiated by Murugan 11,000 years ago. These facts aren't obvious even to the Buddhists of today. Returning back, the Saketa city itself was created by the Pandya Mallas. Thus, in the regions where Buddhism prevailed, there is no wonder that twin fish symbols are present. The connection between North India, Buddhism, the Pandyas, and the Ravanan family was established for the first time by me recently only, and hence neither the North Indians nor the Koreans are aware of this connection. If you ask for the reason for the connection of twin fish with the UP, very few might say that it was due to Buddhism, and some might say that the British gave this symbol in the year 1938. But no one knows the connection between the Pandyas and Buddhism, and that the first Pandya was the Ravanan's family. Thus, based on the etymology of Ayodhya and the Korean queen's connection to South Pandya land close to the sea, we have established beyond doubt that Ayodhya was on the shores of Arabian Sea near Kanyakumari. However, the queen's Ayodhya and Rama's Ayodhya need not be the same place. We are only using the queen's case to prove that Ayodhya should be close to the sea. It is important to discuss the name Saketa, which was later renamed as Ayodhya fraudulently. This name originated as Sa plus Kattu, Sakattu, Saketa, where Sa means big or long and Kattu refers to buildings in Tamil. Hence, Saketa means a big city of beautifully constructed buildings. During Gupta period, it was made as their capital city. The Mallas, that is, the Pandyas, were the descendants of Mayan, known as the celestial architect, who was the father-in-law of Ravana. Kindly remember the Mayan Bangla of Pandyas of Mahabharata. Even the Patan city of Nepal, which has very beautiful buildings, was constructed by the Buddhist Pandyas, and it is this architecture which had spread to China, Japan-like places along with Buddhism. Thus, Saketa was established by the Pandya Mallas. As the city was made the capital of Gupta Empire and as Sanskrit literature were created during Gupta regime, the Brahmins who looted Ravaniyam from Tamils and in its place created the doctored version called Ramayana, renamed this beautiful city as Ayodhya, translocating the theatre of Ramayana from the south to the north. Already, I had published that Tamil Mahabharata was looted and a doctored version was written in Sanskrit, translocating the theatre of Mahabharata from Tamil Nadu to Delhi. The North Indian Brahmins came through Khyber Pass from Kasar region and they settled in Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh regions predominantly. That's why a relatively large population of Brahmins live in this region. As a large population of Brahmins are living in UP, it was their political strategy to relocate Ayodhya from the south to the beautiful city Saketa in UP. Just consider the Hindutva politics and Ram Janmabhoomi politics and their plan of establishing Ram Rajya in India. Thus, the original Ayodhya of Ravaniyam should have existed on the shores from Kanyakumari to Mangalore. It could have been the ancient name of Kollam too. The name Kollam should have originated either during Mahabharata times or later. 5,000 years ago, Kollam was an important port city. Thus, Ravaniya Ayodhya was situated in the present-day Kerala region only. Indeed, as per Sanskrit Ramayana too, Rama came to Pampa river region and met Sugrivan at Kishkinda and solicited his support. Sugrivan means the great mountaineer. In Ramayana times, in India, most of the people lived only on the mountains and only a small fraction of the population lived on the ground, in the forest, in the caves. As we are locating the Ravaniya Ayodhya in Chera land, could Rama be a Tamil? Let us see. Every race of people possess specific characteristics. What was the character of Rama? Vali was a regional king of the mountain region of Tamil Nadu. Ravana was the emperor ruling both South India and Lanka, and his capital was situated in Yalpanam, known as Jaffna. Vali was a trusted lieutenant of Ravana. Rama created enmity between Vali and Sugriva and killed Vali from behind to make Sugrivan as the king in his place in order to seek his support for the war against Ravana. Tamils are averse to such cunning acts. Next, Rama creates a rift between Vibhishana and his brother Ravana and promises Vibhishana, making him as the king of Lanka. He then joins Vibhishana with the ground people who were the descendants of Muruga and the traditional rivals of the mountain people. That's how Rama created the warring factions. What he did to Vali Sugrivan in India, the same was done to Ravanan Vibhishanan in Lanka. Such immoral acts are out of consideration for Tamils and it is only typical of the Jews. Hence, Rama was not a Tamil. But this alone is not enough to conclude that Rama wasn't a Tamil. We need additional info. Rama is said to belong to Raghukulam. He is also said to be of solar race. Due to this, Raghu is wrongly understood as son. Actually, the shadow planet Rahu is causing solar eclipse, and that's how Rahu is related to the sun. Hence, Rahu actually means night, dark and black. From this, Rama belonging to Raghu Kulam means that he is the follower of black culture. The Jews are the people of black culture and engrossed in occultism, and their traditional dress is also in black. From this, it is evident that Rama should have only been a Jew. We shall also investigate why he was said to belong to the solar race. As Shiva propounded the duality concept, Shiva was worshipped as a moon representing night and as sun representing the day. Not only that, Shiva brought in the consciousness about time for the first time in humanity, and he defined the day, one of the measures of time, with the help of the sun, and he defined the other measure, the month, with the help of the moon. Hence, God Shiva is being worshipped both as sun and moon starting from the Lemurian times till today. The Khazarian Jews who settled in that cold region following the deluge of Lemuria 11,000 years ago worshipped their god Shiva as El and Elohim, considering him as the aspect of sun only. The sun helped surviving in the cold Khazar region. They did not worship Shiva in the aspect of moon, as moon means cold. As they worshipped Shiva as an aspect of sun only, as Elohim, they considered themselves as belonging to the solar race. On the other hand, following the defeat in Mahabharata war, the Kauravas of Kerala settled in Arabia 5,000 years ago. As Arabia is a desert land and as sunlight makes the desert life very miserable, they hated sun. Hence, they worshipped their god Shiva as an aspect of moon only, as Al and Allah. Hence, they are called the people of lunar race. Thus, the Jews are said to be of solar race and the Arab Muslims are said to be of lunar race. Thus, as Rama is known as solar race, he is again proven to be of Jewish origin. In Mahabharata research, I had established that Sagni was a Jew and he was wearing black dress always, subtly indicating that he was a Jew. On the other hand, in Ramayana, the fact that Rama was a Jew was expressed symbolically through Rahukulam and solar race. From times immemorial, Jews are the ones who create war between nations and reap the benefits of the war. They always make their living by destroying others. Likewise, Rama exhibited his typical Jewish character by dividing Vali Sugriva brothers and Ravana Vibhishana brothers and making them fight against each other. Considering this comparison, it is amply evident that Rama was indeed a Jew. But how he happens to be at Kollam, the ancient Ayodhya? The Indus Valley civilization had originated more than 8,000 years ago. Hence, well before the times of Ramayana, trading existed between the Khazar region and the South India via the Indus Valley. We have already seen in Mahabharata research that Sagni came from Gandharam, which was nothing but the Khazar region, to the Kollam port for trading and was instrumental in starting the Mahabharata war to destroy the Tirunelveli Pandyas. Likewise, Rama had come to Kollam with a twin agenda, one of which was destroying the world famous Ravana family and his kingdom. He stayed at Kollam and started his destructive work. Kollam port should have been called as Ayodhya in his times. Next, we shall discuss the myth that Rama belonged to the Chola dynasty. Rama wasn't a Chola. The primary human civilization was called Naga, from which Yakshas originated as mountain tribe. The Yakshas were later called as Chera, and hence the Chera dynasty was the very first dynasty which originated in Lemurian continent itself. The next civilization was the Pandyas, which originated just about the Ramayana times through the Ravana family, following their invention of spoked wheel and bullock cart. However, the Chola dynasty originated after the Mahabharata war about 4,000 years ago only. In a nutshell, Cheras existed more than 20,000 years ago. The Pandyas originated about 7,500 years ago only, and the Cholas are known for the past 4,000 years only. But Rama's time was about 7,500 years ago. Hence, the idea that Rama belonged to the Chola dynasty is a mischievous and nonsense idea. Just because the Chola dynasty originated from the eastern shore, the Jews wrongly attributed the Cholas to be of solar race, which is absurd. The Indian Jews, aka the Brahmins, looted the glorious heritage of Manunidhi Chola and using his brand name created their disgusting Manudharma. The Brahmins also appropriated the god Vishnu, who belonged to the Chola dynasty, as their icon and created the fraudulent Dasavadar story. The Jewish Brahmins appropriate anything that is respectable as theirs. To create the myth that the Jewish Brahmins belonged to India, they could have looted the heritage of the Cholas. But they failed to note that Cholas did not exist in the times of Ramayana. Hence, Rama wasn't a Chola. We shall now investigate the real identity of Sita. Ramayana clearly says that Sita was a land. She was found as a baby buried in the earth while Janahan plowed his land. In the end, Sita was taken back into the ground by Bhuma Devi by splitting the earth. She was not born to Janahan and originated from the earth, and she goes back into the earth along with Bhuma Devi in the end. Hence, as per Ramayana itself, Sita represented land. Which land? That land is identified by her name. All ancient names were Tamil and they always carried specific meaning. Sitam means cold in Tamil. The fruit that cools the human body is named Sita. That means Sita refers to a cold land. Which is the cold land in South India? Ooty, Kodaikanal are the typical cold places which are tall mountains. Generally, mountains are colder than the ground regions. That coldness depends on the height of the mountain. More the height, more the cold. It is one of the reasons why ancient men of the tropical region chose to live on the mountains. Rama, who came from the Khazar region, stayed in Kollam port region, and that he married Sita means that the Sita land in question is obviously the mountain region near Kollam. We have established that Rama was a Jew from Khazar region and he came and stayed in Kollam port region, then called as Ayodhya, and the mountain region near that place is referred to as Sita in Ramayana. Based on these solid facts, let us surmise the real story of Ramayana. Ravana was an emperor who ruled both South India and Lanka, and his headquarters was at Yalpanam, known as Jaffna now, which was at the geographical center of his kingdom. Ravana originally belonged to the mountain tribe of Kandi region of ancient Lanka, but he was ruling his empire from Jaffna, the ground region. Hence, he had his summer palace on the South Indian mountain region. If there was a palace, there should have been a beautiful garden adorning the palace. It is that beautiful garden which is referred to as Surpanaga. How? Alagu, Alagu, Anagu, Nagu, Nagai. Alagu means beauty and it deformed to yield Nagai meaning jewel. Ravana's palace was adorned by this jewel called garden. As it was a very beautiful garden, Sirappu Alagu, Sirappu Nagai, Surpanaga. The word Sirappu means special or noteworthy. Hence, we have proved etymologically that Surpanaga was likely the garden which adorned Ravana's summer palace on the mountains and hence also a land. We shall now construct the story. The Jews, who considered themselves as a chosen people of the god, were extremely jealous on Ravana family, who were world famous then due to so many reasons. Indra invented spokes wheel and many machineries including bullock cart, and Indra could also float in the air due to his mystical powers. Ravana invented Veena, improving on the yard, and he was a great astronomer and a world-renowned scholar. Kumbhakarna created Kumbham as convenient form of Shiva Linga and a new style of worship. There are numerous accolades for Ravana family. Unable to bear the popularity of Ravana's family, Rama decided to destroy them. As a means of displaying their animosity toward Ravana, Rama and his associate Lakshmana damaged the garden of Ravana's palace, making the garden and the palace look ugly. This is what is portrayed as cutting the nose of Surpanaga as a way of disfiguring her and making her look ugly. Hearing the news, Ravana asks Vali to investigate the matter. Vali then encounters Rama through a war and defeats him and drives Rama and his associate Lakshmana from the mountains, warning that they should never enter the mountains again. if they are driven out of the mountains, they should naturally flee to the forest. This is called Vanavasam. From the mountain region near Arabian Sea, called as Ayodhya, Rama was driven to the ground forest region, and that was what termed as Vanavasam. I had already said that even though majority of humanity lived on the mountains in those days, a small fraction of people lived in the forest on the ground in the caves. Rama, who was driven out of Ayodhya mountains into the forest on the ground, took refuge among the forest people living in the caves. This is portrayed as Guhan welcoming Rama in the forest. Guhan means the cave dweller, and it refers to the forest people who lived in the caves and who gave asylum to Rama and Lakshmana. It might have taken 14 years from the time that Rama was driven out of the mountains unto the start of the Ramayana war. According to Ramayana, Manthara was the maid servant of Kaikeyi, who is said to have ill advised Kaikeyi to send Rama to the forest. Just look at her name. Man plus Tarai, Mantharai, Manthara. Man means soil and Tarai means ground. Hence, Manthara, which means soily ground, refers to the forest. Manthara urging Kaikeyi to send Rama to the forest means forest was inviting Rama to get into its fold. Manthara was an imaginary character introduced to just add spice to the story. There are such numerous imaginary characters in Ramayana. Thus, Rama, who undertook Vanavasa, starts his revenge mechanism. Taking revenge using the dark methods is in the blood of the Jews. This is the fundamental theme behind the Ramayana war. Thus, we have understood who the Rama was and who the Sita was. The process of Rama marrying Sita is nothing but Rama becoming the leader of the land termed as Sita. Breaking the bow is attributed to the small skirmish that he was involved on becoming the leader of the land. Yes, Rama became the leader of a small stretch of mountain, defeating the locals through deceit. We are aware that Parasurama, who came from Israel, killed all the Kshatriyas, that is, the kings of Western Ghat mountain range, and became its leader, and that's why the Western Ghat mountain range was called Parasurama Kshetram. Rama did the same thing 6000 years earlier in a small scale. Before ending this video, we shall investigate how Vali, Sugriva and Hanuman became monkeys. The fact that Ramayana war happened about 7500 years ago is attested even by the Brahmin historians. If only monkey humans lived in the South India in the times of Ramayana, then the South Indians of today should be having tail. Not only the South Indians, even the Andaman tribes do not have tail. If my ancestors had tail in Ramayana times, is it possible for me to evolve as a full human in the short period of just 7500 years? I am challenging the Brahmins to prove this. Such a huge genetic transformation would not have happened in such a short period of 7500 years. Then how my ancestors became monkeys? The mountain people were described as living near the skies. Hence, they were called Vanavar in Tamil, as Vanam means sky. That's how the humans, Vali, Sugriva and Hanuman, were called Vanavar. But the monkeys who live on the trees were called Vanaram in Tamil. Using the small phonetic difference between these two words as an advantage, instead of calling the South Indians as Vanavar, the Jewish Brahmins called them as Vanaram in a derogative manner and likewise described them as monkey humans in Ramayana. While Sugriva and Hanuman helped Rama the Jew, why should the Jewish Brahmins refer to them as monkey humans in their Sanskrit Ramayana? This is what is called the Jewish mentality. They always insult others and derive pleasure out of it, even if the concerned people helped them. The Jewish sacred books themselves preach that the Jews are the chosen people of the God, while the rest of the humanity is just cattle. While they consider the common man as cattle, it's no wonder that they called Tamils, who were beyond the reach of the Jews in education, culture, arts and technology, etc., as monkeys exhibiting their extreme envy. Hence, Vali, Sugriva and Hanuman were humans only and not monkey humans as portrayed in Sanskrit Ramayana. Here, the amusing fact is that the woman fox were full humans without tail, and only the males were monkey humans with tail. What a nonsense! How is it possible? Can the males and females of the same race evolve so differently? What madness is this? Were the Jewish Brahmins who wrote Sanskrit Ramayana drunk? The fact that they were in the inebriated state while writing Sanskrit Ramayana is exemplified by many such thoroughly idiotic themes in Sanskrit Ramayana. The original history was written in Tamil as Ravaniyam by Valmiki. Valmiki is a Tamil name which means high in skill. This was his title name, pronouncing his capability. Its original story was looted by the Jewish Brahmins and it was reproduced in Sanskrit by a group of Jewish Brahmins in the name of Valmiki, as it was very well known by all as the original author of the same. Hence, Sanskrit Ramayana was not written by Valmiki.